United Nations Security Council Resolution 1325 gives women the absolute legal right to be involved in peace negotiations. That was WILPF's work. And we continue to move forward. There are now, looking around the world, some brilliant women in high office. And looking around this room, it wouldn't surprise me at all if there weren't present here some women who in the future are going to be the leaders in Africa. We hope so. God knows the potential is here, we've seen it. So, working in partnership, WILPF can help empower the women of Africa, helping them to develop the tools to create a better, fairer and more equal world for all of us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, can you hear me? Yes. So Liz Brando spoke about the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom, and I'll tell you a bit about one of our projects, which is the Voices of African Women campaign. So in November 2008, women representing countries from all over Africa, as well as Europe, Asia and both Americas, came together to hold a series of events in London to promote the Voices of African Women campaign. These events took place at the UK Parliament, Chatham House and Amnesty International's Human Rights Centre. As a result of these meetings, African women drafted the Voices of African Women's Declaration, which highlights many of the issues that grassroots female activists in Africa face in their work for peace, justice and development. Thank you for your attention and support.
Hello everybody, and thank you all for coming today to support this event. As it was introduced, this is the launch of the African Women's Decade. You have heard from Part5, who has introduced WILPF. Part is the UK WILPF president. And you have heard from Liz Brando, who is the long-serving member, and she's a long-standing member of WILPF and has always been supporting all the activity, but particularly activity with regard to raising the voices of African women here in the UK. And you have also heard from our very important intern who have been working hard today to organize all this, May El Had from Sudan. She is the one who has really put all this together. Without her, we wouldn't be here today. So I really welcome you to this event, and I would like to kind of talk a little bit about why we are here and also what we should do after this event, after this launch. I want to make a link on the issues of African women's rights, African women participation, human security, justice, peace, good governance and development in Africa. And I'm very delighted today that we have today with us here Dr. Teosoa, who will come here to talk to you more about the African Women's Decade. Dr. Teosoa has kindly agreed to come here, even though she just came back from Africa 2 days ago, and we really appreciate your presence here today. Dr. Teosoa is an independent advisor, and she has worked a lot on issue of a range of international issue, and we focus on social development and children and youth. She's advised a number of international organizations and has worked on several projects, and she has evaluated organizations such as UNIFEM, DFID and UNDP. Dr. Teosoas is also a board member of the Charity Commission. She is also board member of different other organizations. She was born in Ghana and has lived in and worked in various parts of Africa, and she also is a CBE. Thank you very much, Dr. Teoso. A leader, and she's been an inspiration to me, and I would like to welcome her to talk about the African Women's Decade.
Thank you very much. Actually, that's a really hard act to follow. You don't need me to say it. First of all, I hope you all understand that I am in solidarity with you, so you have to pretend that I'm wearing the t-shirt. Yeah? I'm not going to say a great deal. Marie-Claire's already gone through some of the reasons that we all know about here, because all of us here have been working on issues that are of importance not just to African women, but to women across the world, to children around the world, but also to communities in general. And when people say to me, well, what is the importance of the decade of African women? What I want to say is it's as important as we make it or don't make it. Because we all know we've had International Women's Day, we have the Day of the African Child, we have International HIV/AIDS Day. We have all of these areas where people say, this reminds us of the work that we need to do. So let's just get on and do it.
I'm Khadija, you have the floor to read the charter on the...
I greet everybody here on behalf of the members of Sudan in WILPF. And before that, I must say I can't actually describe my feelings, but I feel this is a time during my 30 years work as a volunteer for the issue of women that I feel I'm not alone. This is our time for solidarity. Yes, there are problems in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, everywhere. There are problems which women face. They may differ in kinds, but at last, they are problems and we are women. Being in the age of 70, with all the experience I had in my fight for the rights of women, having the honor of being in prison for that, and having the pleasure of searching inside the prison about the situation of the women prisoners inside and put a project, then it was active. It was useful to the extent that it brought a change in the mind or the attitude of the government. Because I found that all the women in prison were either from the south or from Nuba Mountain, and they were there just because they cooked alcoholic drink, which is forbidden by the Islamic Sharia. I mean, when we act and act seriously, we get a result. When I was out of prison, I made like a gift to the prisoners, food of Ramadan, the fasting month, and I asked the prison to allow me to come and have food with the prisoners. But I invited the members of the parliament from those areas, from Nuba Mountain and from the south. And then while the prisoners were taking their breakfast of Ramadan, I asked the